Hello, it's Dominique. I just did part A. I decided to do part B and show you how to mat this because it's a little tricky. So I did this tutorial just before this one, and it's the card that we have here that holds everything closed, the two doors closed, kind of gatefold doors. So when you remove the card, then you open the doors and you have an interaction in there. So I'm just going to show you how to mat these two doors here, and then the inside you can just mat this, and do a little interaction. First of all, here I had shown you an example of one that I had made recently. So this one here, I had made a gusset about, I would say maybe a little bit more than 1/8 of an inch, because I had a thick interaction here, and so you have to have the gussets there if you want to have something thick inside. But here when I was doing this one, I kind of forgot to put them. So, but then I decided that I wouldn't do the waterfall inside. I will do it somewhere else in the album. As long as it's somewhere in the album, the lady will be happy. It's a custom order. And but then I decided that because I'm going to make something like a pocket or something, you need to have some kind of a little gusset, like more than just flat. So what I did, just to show you how to create a last minute gusset. So you have, it's the one that opens here. So it's this gusset right here, right there. Not this one, but this one here. That's the one you need to kind of squish the edge so that it kind of does a gusset instead of being just flat like this. So you just have something that's not too sharp, but it's really thin and sturdy, and you just run it along. You just go like this, you run it along the fold, and then what it'll do is that it will kind of make your flap not as flat as when it was just folded into, I don't know if you can see, it's in here. I've done it already. So then I have kind of a little gusset. It's really tiny, but it's there. So I'm just gonna make the one pocket. They can put a couple of photos, and if it's like this and it doesn't want to close too well because it's so thick inside, the card will hold everything closed anyways. You see, I have all this that I can have inside, and it's going to be fine. So what I'm going to do is now we're going to mat that because it's a little tricky. So you have to have these, the paper for the top of the pockets. You need to have something for the back here. I did not do anything inside, like on this side here. You don't need to. It's hidden. You don't see it. And the inside just regular and whatever you want. So I'm going to show you how I do this. It's pretty easy. It's just that it's for the diagonal pocket that is a little harder. So first of all, I picked this pattern paper. I'm working a project with the linen closet from DCWV. So here what I do is I will measure. I'm leaving just a little bit, like maybe a 32nd of an inch all around. So I have this here, I have this here. So I'm gonna measure all the way here and then here. Okay, so first I will cut that, and I will cut long enough to have both sides because they have to be matching together. But I don't want to cut too much because I want to keep this for another page. So I'll cut more if I need more. Okay, so first, okay, I need to cut this one here. Right there. So that's the size of it. Okay, I'm gonna do the other one. I'm gonna do the other one right now, but I'm gonna leave a little bit more. No, I'm gonna do that later because I have to show you a special technique. Okay, so I got my first piece here, and just checking to see if everything is fine. So it's good here, it's good here, it's good here, it's good here. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to mark. You have to make sure that you're really keeping that edge around like you should. Now you're going to mark the angle of where the corner, like the corner here, but on this side, where it is. So you just mark a little pencil mark there, and then you will do the same. You have to make sure you really position it the way you're going to glue it on. And here again, you're going to mark here, and always with the same edging that you leave here. And if you're not too sure, just leave a little bit more, And you can always trim it after if it's too big, but if it's too small, it's not working. So I'm gonna go one mark here in my little slot here and the other one here. Okay, so I'm just gonna do this right there, just leaving a little bit more just in case. So I got this here. Okay, so I'm gonna check to see if it's right. So if I really center it to see if I have the same amount of paper all around, corner here, here I have to put it a little higher, so it's all good. So now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna get my paper that I had before. I have to keep this in position. Maybe what you, yeah, okay, sorry. Thinking as I'm doing it. So here you're going to do, put your paper that was continuing the design, okay? And you are going to measure the same amount away, like this little border here that is about 1/32 of an inch, maybe 1/16, whatever you decided. So from there to a 1/16 or a 1/32, whatever you decided, on the other pocket, you make a mark there, okay? Because the thing is that if you have your design stop here and then continuing here, you see how much this leaf here is stopping there and then continuing here? That's not good. Like, this is supposed to go like this, but it's going like this, straight, then here. That's not good. You don't want to do that. You don't want to stretch your lines. Like, you see this leaf right here? That's the best example I can see. You see that leaf here? This one goes here. It should continue here, but no, it's continuing right here. That's not good. You don't want to stretch your design. So you need to remove the amount of space that you have losing between the two designs. So here, I can show you, maybe this way it's going to be better for you if I put it higher. So this is where I cut it. Now my design will continue starting here, so I have to make a mark. I have to remove that strip there. And then I'm going to make a mark right here for the other one. Okay? So that strip, you really have to remove it. That's the best way to do it, because I see so often the people that they just don't remove that strip of paper, and that's not good. Because if you leave it, you're stretching your design. You don't want to do that. It's not very professional. Now you're going to measure the height, which is right there, and then you're going to measure what you need here, which is right the line that I had made here. So this is a very, very important technique. You need to do that. Okay, I see some professionals that don't do that, and I think it's not very good. Now you need to have the same angle right here as you had here. So you have to make sure that you have the same design, okay? So you're going to go front on front or back on back, doesn't matter, okay? Then you're putting them really, really nice and even, and you're going to cut exactly where it goes, right there. Pull a little bit on it, there. Then what you have to do is you have to double check to see if it's the same height. So here I have a little bit too much here, so I'm going to remove some, just a little bit. Now I just finish it like going to nothing, diagonal, and then just going to nothing. Oops, goofed a little bit here. So now they have to be the same height exactly. Okay. Now I decided that I would distress my papers on this project, so I need to do that right now. I really like distressing paper. I think it looks like you've worked on it, you put effort into it, and also you need to color the edge, like the cut of the paper. You don't want to see the white cut, especially when you have dark paper. It doesn't look too good. So you need to do that all the way to the tip. Like this and like this, because then you get to paint everything. There. Now I'm going to glue those on, and then we're going to mat the back, which is really, really easy. So I'm going to do that. Here I have some pencil mark. I'm going to do. I always use wet glue. I think it's much easier. And also what it does when you're matting large surfaces, like large pages or things like that, when it dries, it makes everything, it makes like a second, like an extra layer of something between the paper the two papers that you glue together, so it makes like a thicker finish. So here you have to have always your edging here. And then the other one, same. And I've checked already, it's already the right size, it's already the right amount of border on each side. The two measurements here are good. I'm going to erase this while I still can. I'm going to do this right here. Go a little bit lower, a little bit on the left. And this here I can see that needs to go a little higher. So here I can see that there's more here than here, so I'm just going to cut that excess. I really want those two to be the same thing. See, it looks better this way. So this is the harder part. So all you need to do now is measure what you need as width here. And here I'm going to do the same with the design. So I'm just going to make my mark right now as I'm measuring this for the next one here, and then I'm going to do this one maybe, and then I can always trim some. And also I need the height. So the height, you go all the way down, and you go just leaving a little edge there again, like a 16th or 32nd, whatever you have decided. I'll cut both of them like this, all the way to here. Here I have my first flap, or the inside of the pocket. Then I remove that little strip for the design to continue. It's more work, but it's so worth it. Here, so I remove this. This is what I have the space between the two here, where when I leave my 16th or 32nd of an inch on each side. This is the excess. I have to remove it. Then I'm going to do the other one right here. Here I have rounded my corners. These, after I had put the pocket, because we don't want to round those corners, then I rounded those two corners there. So I need to round those two corners as well. Now I have to make sure I have the right one. So you have to remeasure. So this is like this. So it's this one right here, and this one right here. I ink everything. The inking takes a long time, but it's so worth it. You don't need to do the inside and the bottom. It's going to be hidden. Just the edges here. When I did Rosa Kelly's book, I spent so much time inking. And also I use this little distresser tool. Tim holds distresser tool. And some of the pages, not all of them, but some of them, to make them even more vintage. So now you're going to double check. I could have done that before I distress. This is going to be perfect here, and this one's going to go perfect here, and you have just the right amount there. And I like to leave this little, when I made I built my pocket, I leave a little bit here, just in case when I mat, I'm a little too short, then it won't show. Okay, that's why I did that. So all you need to do is just mat that, and that's it. Then you have to do the inside, whatever you decide to do. And it makes such nice pages. I really, really love that. I've seen that somewhere, I don't remember where. Maybe Claire from My Creative Spirits, I don't know. But I thought it was such a great idea. Oh no, I think it was Frances from Your Book of Memories. I think she's the one who did that. I don't know. Don't remember, it's been a while. I've been doing that technique for some time. Corners, and then you just go inside. Now you have to make sure that you have the same amount of space as the one here on the top, so lower, and on the edge, so a little bit inside, inside. I'm going to use this to remove the glue on the edge right here. I have some. the best way to do it while it's still wet. Because when it's dry, you cannot do that. It's the best way to remove your glue. It goes everywhere, all the little corners, all the way to the edge. And also when you have little bits and pieces of paper, because your blade is getting dull, you just go like this and it goes all inside. So there you go. Easy enough. So now I have to do is mat this paper with coordinating paper, the card, and it'll go right inside. And because I've added some paper here, it's a little tighter, so maybe I'll have to remove a little bit again of that card. Maybe it's a little bit too wide. I like it when it slides easily. I might remove like a 32nd of an inch so it'll be easier to go in. Yeah, so once I mat it, it's gonna get thicker, and if they put photos in this, it's gonna get even thicker. So you need to be shorter, like smaller here, especially that I don't have any gussets, because there's no room there. It's all flat. There's no room to put anything there. So I'm gonna remove a little bit here, and then it's gonna be fine. So that's it. Well, thank you for watching. So that was part B. You make sure you watch part A, and don't forget to put your gussets if you decide here. If you decide to do something here, so just add. When you score this line, just to score a second line, maybe 1/8 of an inch or something like that, depending how thick you want to put something in there, and then you have the gussets there. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you soon with other tutorials. Bye bye.